Hello my friends and welcome back. It is episode 104. My voice output looks a little bit low here, so let me just double check that. Okay, perfect. Okay, sweet. I've had a good night's sleep. And it's time to carry on. 1 month later. This must be the place. Don't tell me she's been wearing that dress for a month. Jufti paused at the door. Nameplate reads Martin Residence. Looks like the address matches what was mentioned in the letter.
Hi.
He literally just said yes. That's what, you know. Some of this is really over-translated. Mondo's voice comes from behind the door and is followed by some hurried footsteps before the door swings open.
Jeff. Oh.
Juft. Oh. What?
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Nothing. Come in. Mondo steps aside to let Jufti in. Your outfit today, it's quite unique. That's a bad compliment. Arlena gave it to me. Is there something strange about it? She said, is it weird? In fact, she just literally said, it's weird in a questioning pronouncement. Hen means weird or strange. So, I mean, I get it. That's a very literal translation. Is there something strange about it? It works, but I think it's a very good example of how personality is lost in translation here. It's definitely something she would pick. Look you gave me right now made me worried that I might be dressed weirdly. No, it's not weird at all. Please take a seat. Is there anything you'd like to drink? Water, please. Okay, it's cold water, alright? That's fine. Mondo walks into the kitchen and returns with 2 bottles of mineral water. Here you are. Empty sits down on the sofa and looks around. The furniture and decor are all made of wood. It must have cost a fortune here in Antarctica. This is an unusual style for Antarctica. It is indeed a bit different from other places. Perhaps it's because my parents lived in Europe. They were accustomed to this kind of living environment. It's rather in line with Philip's picky nature. Whose guitar is this? Originally belonged to my father, and I later learned a bit as well. However, I always felt like I didn't have much talent for it. I guess there must be a violin too, right? How did you know? Let me see. There it is in the cabinet. This was my mother's violin.
Philip 先生とヘレナ先生が休憩時間に演奏してたのを聞いたことがある。
Philip and Helena sometimes play together during their breaks. I've had the privilege of listening.
リリシズムだろ。
They would play Lyrisme, right?
知ってたの？
You know it.
子供の頃よく一緒に演奏してたんだ。ギターパートは何度も練習した。
This is the piece they played most together when I was young. I've practiced the guitar part many times.
ヘレナ先生のバイオリン借りてもいい？
Can I borrow Helena's violin? Mondo hands the violin to Jufti, who carefully examines it and makes some simple adjustments to the tuning pegs.
弾けるのか？
You can play the violin?
ヘレナ先生に教わった。身体の連動性を上げるトレーニングになるって。
Helena taught me the basics, though the goal was to train my coordination.
試して
Shall we
み
give
な
it
い
a try?
デュエットってことか？
Do you mean to play together?
この楽器たちを見てたら懐かしくなってきちゃって。
Yeah, seeing these two instruments brings back nostalgic feelings. Would you like to play together?
な、やろう。
Of course.
俺うまく弾けないかもしれないけど。
I'm just worried that my playing might not be good enough.
私もかじった程度だから気にしないで。
I'm a beginner too, so there's no pressure.
そうか。
If you insist.
じゃ、始めよう。
Shall we get started? Yes. Mondo begins playing the prelude. The guitar string sounds as gentle as the afternoon sunlight. Jufti recalls the melody and seamlessly joins in with the violin. The pair loses themselves in the familiar melody, and the feeling of nostalgia gradually wells up in their hearts, blending into their performance. Soon the melody reached its end. Perhaps their skills are a bit rusty, or maybe they didn't want to dwell too much on the past, but they both unconsciously chose not to keep playing.
初めてにしては上出来じゃない？
And you could have stayed there and listened to that tune. It's amazing how well we
ギタ
played
ーの弾き
together.
方なんてすっかり忘れたかと思っ
Didn't
てた
realize
け
I
ど
could play so smoothly. I thought I would
Angai,
forget the
yareremon da na.
fingering. That's not quite the word I would have used.
体に染みついてる証だよ。
Some things are hard to forget.
なあ、気づいたら勝手に弾いていた。
I guess the melody left more of a deep impression than I thought.
それだけ二人の存在は大きかったんだ。
We were able to play together because it means a lot to both of us.
どう？
Do you feel more
少しは
relaxed
リラック
now?
スできた？
バレてたのか。
I'm sorry you caught me.
なんでわかったんだ？
How did you notice that I was nervous?
今日で最後なんでしょ？
It's your last day after all,
私も緊
even
張
I
し
would
てる
feel
も
a
の。
bit nervous in such a situation.
それだけじゃない。今までの任務に比べたら気楽なもんだからな。
Of course, it's not just because of that. After all, I've carried out so many missions, and this isn't the most nerve-wracking one. I don't know what that superfluous that is doing there,
じ
but
ゃ
hey.
あなんで？
Are you nervous about anything else? Mondo looks at Jifty's face and shyly averts his gaze.
なんていうか。
Now, this is our first time
実
meeting
験室
alone
の外
outside
で
of the
こ
lab.
うして二人で会うのは初めてだし、前まではこうしてたわいもない話をする光景なんて想像もできなかった。
It was hard to
それ
imagine
に
having such a casual
今日の
conversation before,
君は
especially considering how you're dressed today.
おかしい？
What's wrong with the way I'm dressed?
いつもと違うと
It's
いう
just
か、
different from what
な
you
んというか
usually wear.
例えるなら山の中で熊に出くわして
If I had to put it into words, it's like walking on a hill and suddenly coming face to face with a bear.
クマ？
気づいたら目の前に
Yeah,
迫っ
just
て
when
いて
you're really scared, it comes
よく見
closer
る
and you
と
realize it's
モ
a
フモ
little,
フした
a
可愛
fluffy
い
little
子熊
bear
だっ
that's
た
even waving at you,
そんな感じかな
inviting you to pet it. That's the main difference. Jesus, that's the most tortured. That's the most tortured bit of dialogue I've read in some time.
ずいぶん変わった例えだね。
It's quite the
どこかの
analogy.
童話にありそうな。
Sounds like something out of a novel. Yeah, a bad novel.
もしかして皮肉？
You're not being sarcastic, are you?
あ、そうじゃない。あ、いい意味でギャップがあるなって言いたかっただけだ。
What do you mean? I'm just describing the contrast in a positive
まあ
way.
今まで服装に無頓着だったのは確かだけど、
Well, I don't have much experience with dressing up, and I don't have much confidence.
ここで過ごす最後の日ぐらいは
It's my last day
変化が欲し
here
かった
after all, and I wanted to make some changes.
ああ、最後だもんな。
Yeah, it's your last day after all.
そっちは全部
Are
片付い
things
たの
on
か？
your end ready?
データとサンプルは全部実験室に置いてきた。私がいなくても対シュライク溶液は作れるし、研究の
The
続
data
行
and
に
the
も支
samples
障
are
は
left
な
in
い
the
は
lab.
ず。
Even without me, others can produce the anti-Shrike solution. There's no obstacle to continuing the research.
そうか。
Is that
そ
so?
れならケンプフェに迷惑がかかることもないな。
I don't think Kempf will have any
そっ
complaints.
ちは？
What about you?
準備はバッチリだ。あとは俺に
Don't
任
worry,
せ。
I've got it all sorted out. Just stick close to me.
コーカサスの時はその言葉を信じて散々な目に遭わされたけどね。
Last time you said that in the Couscous, there were quite a few accidents.
もう5年も前じゃないか。今の俺は
That was
一
5
味違う
years
ぞ。
ago. There won't be any problems now.
分かったよ。
Fine, I'll
ちゃん
tell
と
you.
説明するから。計画はこうだ。
Here's the plan.
参加者の叙勲式に気を取られて 警備が最も手薄なタイミングを狙って俺の知ってるルートで地表に向かう。そこには必要な物資が積まれた車が用意されている。
Here's the plan. Today, everyone's attention will be drawn to the ceremony. During the time when security is weakest, I know a secret way to reach the surface. Prepared vehicle with all necessary supplies on board will be waiting there.
パーティーが終わるまでには
Banquet
南
will
極を
last
出
long
発
enough
する
for
ク
us
ル
to
ーズ
catch
船に
the
乗り込め
departing
るは
cruise
ずだ。
ship out of Antarctica.
実験室の人間が
By
気
the
づ
time
く
the
頃
lab
に
notices you're
俺たち
gone,
は
we'll
とっ
have
くに
vanished
海の
from
上だ。
Antarctica.
ずいぶん大雑把だね。
Your plan is so vague.
詳細を話したら明日になっても終わらない。
We'll be here until tomorrow if we tried to cover all the
でも
details.
あんた一人で手配できることじゃないよね。
Sounds like it's not something one person can handle
もし
alone.
かして
何
Is
もかも
Camp
お見通しだな。
helping? I can't hide
君
it
の
from
身の
you.
安全を
You
保証
granted
で
my
きるなら
request, but on the
と
condition I guarantee
快
your
諾してくれ
safety.
たよ。
誰が誰の安全を保証するのやら。
Who guarantees whose safety is still hard to say.
それはお互い様ってことで。
Then let's promise to protect each other.
ケンプフェのお墨付きなら
If
乗
Kemp
ってあげて
promised to
もい
help,
い。
I'll give your plan the benefit of the doubt.
俺だって成長したんだ。信用してくれ。
It's been 5 years. Please believe that I've grown.
もう5年か。
5 years. I never
夢と勘違い
thought that
する
5 years
くらい
would pass so
一
quickly.
瞬だった。
Everything feels like a dream.
名残惜しいか。
Are you feeling a bit
わからない。
nostalgic? I don't know how I feel.
モンドこそ
What
この
about
家
you?
を離れる
Won't
の
you feel reluctant
寂し
to
くない
leave
の？
this house?
いや、実はもう何年も帰ってなかったん
Actually,
だ。
I haven't been back here for years.
え
Eh?
あんたの実家なんでしょ？
Isn't this where you lived with Philip and Helena?
ここは好きじゃない。
I don't like this
ずっ
place.
と一人だったからな。
Most of the memories I have here are from when I was alone.
いつも綺麗に掃除して
When I
待
was
っ
a
てい
kid,
たの
I
に、
cleaned the house top to
父
bottom
さんた
only
ち
to
は
hear
結
that
局帰
they
ってこな
weren't
かっ
coming
た。
back.
ケンプフェに引き取られてからは、
I've been either at
学校か
school
軍
or
で
in
過
the
ごしてい
army
た。
ever since Camp adopted me. I tried to avoid coming back here.
でも、なんでだろうな。
I don't know why, but now that it's
いざ
time to leave
南極を出ると
Antarctica,
な
I
ると、
tried to think of places I
最後
wanted
に
to
行き
say
たい場所
goodbye
は
to and couldn't think of
こ
anywhere
こ
but
以外
here.
思い浮かばなかった。
両親との思い出がたくさん詰まった場所だから。
You have a lot of memories with your parents here.
昔のことはもうほとんど忘れた
I。don't remember much from the past. The
この家は
place
単なる場所に過ぎな
that
い。
left the most memories is this house where we used to live together.
二人は行方不明扱いだから、墓も建てられないと
Camp told me
ケン
their
プフェに
case
言わ
was
れた。
classified as missing and that they didn't even get a proper gravestone in the end.
だから自
So I
分
made
で
a
簡
simple
単な
one
墓
for
を
them at
作った。
home.
もしかして壊してたの？
Are you taking down the gravestone?
だからこんな格好を？
Is that why you're dressed like that?
ああ、生きているかもしれない
You
のに
guessed it, since there's
墓なん
signs
て
that
い
they're
らない
not
だろ
dead, it's pretty inauspicious to have this gravestone here.
二人が帰ってき
If
た
they come
時
back and see I made a gravestone for them at
これを見たらどう
home,
思う？
what do you think their reaction would be?
確かにない方がいい。
Yeah, you really shouldn't keep it here. Or there.
私も手伝う。
Let me help you. No, 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 you're still in your dress.
見てるだけならいいでしょ。
Then at least let me see what the gravestone
Oh.
looks like. Alright,
こ
come
っち
with
だ。
me.
綺麗。これはチューリップ？
ああ、母さんの好きな花だってケンプフェが言ってた。
Kemp told me these were
昔は
my
庭一面
mother's
に植え
favourite
てたらしい。
flowers. When they still lived here, the entire garden was filled with them.
まあ、今は本物の花じゃないけどな。世話する人がいないから造花にしたんだ。
Of course, these aren't real flowers now. After they left, there was no one to care for the gardens. They were replaced with artificial decorative flowers.
ヘレナ先生が。
Helena's favourite flower.
ああ、だから
Yeah, so I
墓
thought
を
there would
作
be
る
a
なら
fitting place
こ
for
こ
it.
君が来た時
The
は
monument I made for them is placed in the middle. I happened to be in the middle of dismantling it when you rang the doorbell. Mondo walked into the flower bed where a delicate stone monument stood amidst the flowers. He gently touched the monument. With determined resolve, he closed his eyes and forcefully pulled the monument out.
よし。あとは土を埋め
Okay,
て
I've
戻せ
pulled
ば
out the gravestone. Now I
何も
just need
残
to
らな
fill
い。
in the hole so no one will know what I
こういう
did.
ことに関しては手際がいいよね。
In a way, you have a talent in doing this.
そうかもしれないな。
That may be the only talent I have. Mondo wipes away the sweat from his brow and exhales. The artificial sunlight filters through the flowers, casting its glow on him. Jufti stands by, watching him and then at herself, as if Philip and Helena's shadows are appearing before her.
モンド、一つ聞かせて。
Mondo, I want to ask you a question.
なんだ
I'll have to answer immediately. What's up?
もしフィリップ先生とヘレナ先生が三女神計画に参加せず、ずっとあんたのそばにいてくれてたら、
If, and I emphasize if, Philip and Helena didn't participate in the research for the Garveral project and stayed by your
それ
side,
でも ミッドに入ったと思う？
Would you still have chosen to join mid?
それとももっと別の人
Would
生
you
を
have
歩ん
chosen
で
a
たと
different
思う？
path in life? How can he possibly answer that?
ミッドに入ってなければ多分
If I
記者
didn't
にでも
join
なっ
mid,
てたかも。
maybe I would have become a journalist.
何事もなく
But in that case, my life would
平
have
凡な
probably
人
been
生だったんだろ
ordinary
う
and
な。
uneventful.
平凡でつまらない人生だったとしても
But even in an ordinary and
親と
uneventful
離れ
life, it's
離れ
better
に
than
なっ
being
て
separated from your
死
parents,
と
better
隣り
than
合わせの
constantly
毎
risking
日を
your
送っ
life,
たり
and better than the
自
prospect
分
of
の
bidding
故郷と
farewell
永
to your
遠にお別
hometown
れするより
forever,
はマ
right?
シじゃない？平凡だけど安定
If
し
you
た
could
生
choose the
活と
path of normal and stable
今み
life,
たいな辛く
would
苦
you
しい
still
道
face this difficult and painful
選
path
べ
you're
ると
on
した
now?
らどっ
それ
Mondo doesn't answer. He looks at the yard, ponders for a moment, and then turns to
夕日が
Jifty.
照らすチューリップって
Look at how the sunset
綺麗だわ。
shines on these tulips. It's truly
この
breathtaking.
家には悲しい
Though
思
this
い出
house
しか
left me
残っ
with
て
some
いない
sad
けど
memories, it can't stop me from wanting
それ
to
でも
freeze time in this
この
beautiful
美しい
moment.
瞬間を辛いことが幸せを生まないとは
It's hard
限
to
らな
say
い
that a painful process won't give birth to a
俺も
beautiful
昔はい
result.
なくなった両親を恨
Just
ん
like だ
だ
how
け
my
ど
parents' departure, which
今
I
はそ
once
れが前に
resented, has
進む
now
原動
become the
力になっ
driving
てる
force to move me forward.
大切なのは過去でも未来でもない
I made up my mind.
今なんだって分かったん
What's
だ
important isn't the past nor the future, it's the present.
だからもしどんな選択をするかと聞
So
か
if
れ
you
た
were to
ら
ask me how I would make a choice,
俺は君と出会える道を
I
選
would
ぶよ
choose the path that leads me to you, no matter what
たとえ
difficulties and obstacles I
どんな
encounter
苦
along
難
the
や
way.
危険が
I
待ち
won't
受けていよ
regret
う
it.
と
Now that's a smooth
何度でも
line.
納得
What about
でき
you?
るか
Jifty's momentarily unsure how to respond. She too turns her gaze towards the garden under the setting sun, but what she sees seems to stretch even further into the distance.
フィリップ先生とヘレナ先生もきっと
Philip
こ
and
の
Helena
景
must
色を
have
見
stood
てたん
here
だろう
looking
ね
at this view before they left.
さあ
Perhaps.
私たちと同じ気持
Can't
ち
help
だっ
but
たの
wonder
か
if they
な
were thinking the same things we are now.
どんなに不安でも
There may be
大切な
anxiety
人と
and
同
doubt,
じ
but
景
it's
色を
because
共
there
有
are
している
people
と
you
思うと
care.
不思議と勇気が湧く
Okay, this is broken English. There may be anxiety and doubt, but it's because there are people that you care about by your side, looking at the same scenery as you, that you can gather the courage to embark on an unknown journey.
そろそろパーティーの時間だ行こう
The banquet is starting soon. We should probably get going, right? She said party, not banquet. But literally used English.
第二の人生を始める準備はいい
Are you ready for a new life, Mondo?
おおもちろんだ
Yes, I'm ready.
君は
What about
も
you?
ちろん
I'm ready too.
よし
Great, then let's
じゃ
go.
あ行こうか
Of course, we know it's all going to go horribly wrong because the game's not over. Let's go. This is like the world's longest end sequence that is not actually going to be an end sequence.
どう？私が入れた紅茶、なかなかでしょ？
How is it? The black tea I brewed tastes quite nice, doesn't
普
it?
通
It's alright, I guess.
あら、何千万もの
You're
ル
so
シカ
picky.
が
This
選
is
び
the
抜い
best
た
cup of
最
black
高の
tea
一
among the
杯なの
millions of
に。
cups Lucifer has ever brewed.
最後の一杯なんだから採点が厳しくて当然でしょ
Since it's my last cup of black tea, I don't think it's a big deal if I'm picky.
私の案、気に入ってくれたのね。
Did you like the choice I gave you?
急いで答える必要はないわ。考える時間なら
Don't
た
be
っ
so
ぷり
hasty
あ
to
るし
answer me. We
ね。
have plenty of time to think.
あんたの言う通り確かにそれが唯一の
You
方
weren't
法
lying, it's the only way.
で、条件は？
What about the offer I made?
あんたの言う通りにする
I'll do as you
絶
say.
対そう言うと思ってた。
I thought you'd say yes.
でもこんな条件を出されて、
But with these
さぞ
conditions, you must
私の
hate
こ
me
と
deep
を
down,
恨んだわ
right?
よね。
これでいいこれしかないし
Just like this, it's
その
fine.
方が
This way, there won't be a
大
need
勢
to
の
kill
人
so
間が死
many
ななく
people.
て済む彼も許してくれる
He'll probably forgive me.
彼の許しを請うよりも、もっと自
Shouldn't
分
you
を
be
心
more
配
worried
した
about
方
your
がい
fate
いん
than
じゃ
his
ない？
forgiveness?
いい
It doesn't
これ
matter.
が
This
今
is
の
the best
私に
ending
とっ
for
て
me.
そうまあでも、一番あなたらしい
Is
答え
that
では
so?
ある
It's
わ
hardly
ね。
surprising. After all, that's just your personality.
皮肉ね。あなたを助けるために彼は世界を裏切って、 彼を
It's
助
truly
ける
amazing.
た
The
め
man
にあ
betrayed
な
the
たは
world to
世界
save
を
you, and
滅
you
ぼす。
destroyed the world to save him.
もしこの世に地獄があるとしたら、あなたたちはきっと最下層で再
If hell
会するわ
exists in
ね。
this world, you two will surely meet in the deepest circle of hell.
だからあんたの条件を受け入れた。私も彼ももう辛い選択をしなくて
That's
も
why I
いいよう
agreed
に。
to your conditions. This way, neither he nor I will have to make more difficult choices.
そんなに人間のことが好きなんだ。自分を犠牲にしても世界を存
Seems you
続
still
さ
have a
せるなん
liking for
て。
humanity. You're even willing to sacrifice yourself to prolong this
人
world.
間もこの世界も好きじゃ
I
ない
don't。like humans and I don't like this
でも
world. I just think that the
今
current
の状態が
situation is
正しいと
wrong.
も思え。私はこの世界のすべての人、
I want to be able to give
そして
the
別の
world,
私に
everyone, and my other
選
selves a
択の
chance
機
to
会を与え
choose.
たい。
たとえその代償が
Even if
自
you must
分
bear
自
the
身だ
cost.
としていけすかないやつだと思ってたけど、ちょっと見直したわ。
You used to make me feel vile, but I'm slowly getting tired of it.
私はあんたが嫌いだよ。
I still hate you.
あなたの動機は理解できるけど、
I
目
can
的
understand
は
your
理解
motives,
できない
but
わ。
I can't understand your purpose.
目
Sacrifice
的のな
without
い犠
purpose
牲
is
はた
just
だの無駄
passing
死に
away.
よ。選択の機会って言ったけど、あな
When
た
you
が
talk
望
about
む
the
のは
opportunity
一
to
体何？
choose, what do you want to choose?
本当に
What
求め
are
て
you
いるも
really
のは何な
after?
の？
それを知ってどうするの？
What is your favorite color? Does it
釣
matter?
れないわね。私とあなたは同じよ。
Don't
特に
underestimate my
自分の願望
persistence. In
に
this
対する
aspect, you and I
気
are
持
the
ちはね。
same, especially when it comes to facing one's own desires.
女神は偉大な存在のはずなのに、あなたはただひたすらシュライクに対抗して決して許されない決断まで下した。
I used to think that a goddess should be a noble existence, but you seem to be futilely and mechanically fighting against the Shrikes, making decisions that no one would forgive.
シュライクと戦ったの
And
も、
this resistance is not based on your will, but on the will of others. You may
あな
seem
た
to
は
be
何かを
determined to
貫
carry
き
out
通そ
something,
うと
but
し
in
て
the
るよう
end,
に見える
it's
け
all
ど、
what others want.
結局それも他人のため。選択の機会を与えたいなんて言ってるけど、
When you say you want to have a choice, I
この世の対
understand
立と
even
圧
more
力に
clearly that you are not
本当
interested
に
in the
興味がある
conflicts
わ
and
けじゃないで
entanglements
し
of the
ょ。
world.
あなたは人のために戦い、
You've been fighting
人
for
の
others,
ために犠牲
sacrificing
に
for
な
others,
り
but
続
you've
け
never
た。
shown your true desires.
ただ単に楽しく生きようとしているだけかもね。
Maybe I don't desire anything, maybe I just want to do things that make me happy.
そんな嘘、影である私に通用すると思う？
Maybe you can deceive others, but you can't deceive your own shadow.
どんなことだって
You and I
目的
both
と意
know
味
that
があ
everything you
る。
do has a purpose and
あ
meaning.
な
You
たは
just
認め
refuse
た
to
くな
admit
いだ
it.
け。あなたにとって
You claim it's to make yourself
楽しく
happy,
生
but
きるって
looking at all your
一体何？
memories, you never once showed a smile,
あ
even
なた
when you
の記
achieved
憶
your
の中で
goals,
は
except for the time
あの
spent
人
with
と一
him.
緒にいた時間。それなのに、その
And
最
this
後
sole
の笑
source of
顔すら
happiness is about to be taken away
私
by
に奪わ
me.
れようとしてる。それでも躊躇なく私と取引をしようとしているあなたを私が信じる
Even
と
so,
思
you
う？
decide to make a deal with me without hesitation, and you expect me to believe your answer.
あんたが信じようと信じまいと私の答えは変わらない。
It's up to you whether you believe me or not, but this is what my thought process
これ
is.
が最後のチャンスよ。ここで言わなかったらあなたの意志を継ぐ者はいなくなるわ。
This is your last
計画
chance.
が
If you do
始ま
not
ったら
speak, there will be no one left to
もう
carry out
後
your
戻り
will.
できない
Once
のよ。
our plan begins, there will be no turning back.
新しいあなたが何を思うか
And
なん
there's
て
no telling what the new
誰
you
に
will
もわ
think.
からない。だから教えて、お姉ちゃん。
Tell me, sister.
あんたの言う通りどんな決断を下そう
You're
が必ず誰かが私のために命を落とすことになる。
You're right, I hate all the past battles. I hate this world changing its course because of my decisions. People will die because of the decisions I make, regardless of whether the decision makes the world better or worse.
もうこんな運命はこ
I'm
りご
tired
り
of this fate. It seems to me that there are
一見
countless
無数にあ
choices,
るよう
but
に
in
見える
reality
選
I
択
have
肢
no
が
choice. All the choices lead
実
to
際に
me,
は選択するこ
lead
とは
me
で
to the
きず、
inevitable abyss of destruction.
私の望みは一つだけ。
You ask me what my desire is, then I'll tell you. I want to
破滅しない
make
選択肢を
choices
見
that
つける
won't
こと。
lead to destruction. If there are no such
存在し
choices,
ない
then
の
I'll
なら
create them myself.
私がこの手で作り、どんな犠牲や代償も
Regardless of
あらゆ
what
る次元
sacrifice
の
or costs
私
I
が
have
背
to
負う。
bear, I will endure everything.
そして
After
全て
overcoming
の
all
苦
the
難を乗り
hardships,
越
the
えた
me that
私。
transcends it all, that
そ
fortunate
の幸
Jofti
運な
can
ジェフティ
choose the
に
life she truly
自分
desires.
自身の
考えてることは同じなのね。
Seems we're both facing the same dilemma, aren't we?
私は一番いい結末を迎えられるようずっと頭を悩
I've
ま
been
せてき
carefully
た。
pondering about how to navigate towards the best outcome for
でも
myself.
私だって
But I am
与えられた
only
選択
seeking
肢
the
の
best
中の
outcome
最
among
良
the
の
choices
結
I
末
can
に過
make,
ぎな
and the
い。
definition of the best is just a
最も
fleeting
何が
thought
最
in
良
my
かさえ
mind.
所
After
詮
all, who can
私の
truly
頭の
define
中
what
の
is
概念
best?
に過ぎないわ。私たちの違いはあなたの
Difference
方が
between
たく
us
さん
probably
の代
lies in the
償を
fact that
払
you
う
have
余裕
more
があ
room
る
to
と
bear the
いうことだ
consequences
け。
of mistakes than I do.
代償を払って済むくらいならこんな話しない。
If we could truly bear the consequences of our mistakes, we wouldn't need to have this conversation.
確かに結果が悲惨すぎるせいでその代償もちっぽけに見えてしまう。
Indeed, the consequences of mistakes are so monumental that the heavy price needed to rectify them seems minuscule in comparison.
だからこそあなた
That's
は
why
簡単に
sacrificing
自分を
yourself seems
犠
like
牲
such an
にす
easy
る。
choice. However, the
それ
only
に
person who can choose
自分
whether or
を
not
犠
to
牲に
sacrifice
するこ
yourself
とを
is you,
選べるの
Jifty.
もジェフティ、これが私たちの運命であり幸せな結末を迎えられる唯一の方法
This
な
is
の
our
よね。
intuition and perhaps the only destiny that can bring happiness to both of us, isn't it?
あなたは神の力を捨て
So you hate this world where you can't
自分自身を犠牲に
choose your own
しても
destiny to the extent that you're willing to forsake divine power and even sacrifice yourself.
だから他人の
In
支配や
exchange, you
影
want
響から
to
解放され
you want a destiny entirely of your own, free from the
100%
control and influence of others, a
自分の力で選べる世界
life
が
where
欲しかったんでしょ？
100% of the choices are yours to make. Am I understanding this correctly?
その通り。
とんだ
That's
欲張りさんね。
What a truly
でもこれで納得。
insatiable desire. No wonder you're willing to pay such a steep price for it.
あなたの望みが分かった以上
I understand what you want
もう
now. I
迷い
have
も
no
疑問もない
more
わ。
reservations or doubts.
じゃあ
Now then, shall we
続けて
continue?
いい？
もう二度と私のこと疑わ
Don't
ない
ever
で。
doubt my determination again.
はーい、お姉ちゃん。本当はもう
Yes,
始まっているのよ。
To be honest, everything has already
世
begun.
界を
Let's
変え
quietly
る
wait in this
力を
little
持
room
つあ
for
な
the
たが
moment
来
where
る
the
のを
you
待ちましょう。
who can change destiny appears.
ジェフティ
You know, with all the animations that they've done in this game, you would think that they would do one of him, like, sitting down with the car.
また眠ってた。
Did I fall asleep again?
具合悪いのか
Are you feeling unwell?
Yeah,
I don't feel any
別に。
different. Maybe the fatigue caused by
前の
the
身体
change
改
in
造
my
の
body
疲労
hasn't
が
disappeared.
抜け、
本当に大丈夫なのか
Are you really alright?
私を疑ってるの？
You don't believe
そん
me?
なことない疲れたなら
I believe you. If you're
目的地
tired,
に
you
着い
can
て
have
か
a
ら
good
ゆっ
long
くり
rest
休め
when
ば
we
いい
reach our destination.
ちゃんと休めるんでしょう
You
ね。
sure there will be time to rest?
もちろん全部
There
手
will be.
配
I've
して
got
あ
it
る
all worked out.
ほら着いたぞ
Anyway, we've arrived.
とりあえ
Let's
ず
get
降りよ
off. I'll fill you in on the
計画の
details of our
続きは
plan shortly.
わかった。
Alright. Mondo hands the invitations to the waiter. After a brief confirmation, the waiter smiles and nods, leading us to the magnificent banquet hall.
うるさい。
It's so noisy. She actually just said, shut up.
パーティーだからしょうがない
That's what these occasions are like. Hang in there.
人混みはあまり好きじゃない。
I don't like places like this. There are too many
俺も
people.
嫌いだでも今日
Don't
は
really like crowded
い
places
ろんな
either,
人が
but
この会場に出入り
because all
するか
kinds
ら
of people are going in and out
こ
of
っ
this
そり逃げる 絶好
hotel
のチャン
today.
スだ
It's the best opportunity for us to discreetly leave without drawing
いつ逃げ
attention.
る？
When do we leave?
焦るな
There's no need to
まだ
rush. Our
時
window
間
of
はたっぷり
opportunity
ある
is still some time away.
せっかくだから
Since we're already
少し
here with
見て
nothing
回
else
らない
to do,
か
how about I give you a quick tour?
ずいぶん余裕があるんだね。こんな時に観光気分
Seems
だ
you're
なん
pretty
て。
confident in your plan if you're in the mood for sightseeing.
まあここにいる連中はみんな浮かれてるからなこの方が
Ah,
人
no,
混み
most
に
people
紛れやす
come
い
here to enjoy the scenery. We're just doing it to blend in with the crowd.
本当？
Is that
本
true?
当だって
It's true.
ここは南極一の人気観光スポットなんだよ
It's true. This is the most popular place to visit in Antarctica. She actually said, really? And he said, really? And I don't know why they couldn't just translate that into English as, really? Really? You know? I mean, it works in Japanese, it works in English. Let's continue.
さあここが迎賓館で一番大きい展
Come
望
over here.
室だ
This is it. The largest full height
南極で一番
observation
高い場
window
所から
in
の
the
景色
entire
なん
state
て
banquet center.
な
Look
かなか見れない
outside.
ぞ
We're at the highest point in Antarctica. Not every tourist gets the chance to see this view. Well, this is obviously not the highest point in Antarctica, because this is clearly higher. And this is clearly higher. And this is clearly higher. But anyway, let's carry on.
迎賓館ってこんなに高かったんだ。
State Banquet Center is so tall.
だろ
I
た
know,
だ
right?
高いだ
This
けじゃ
place
な
is
い
not only the highest point,
こ
but
こは遺
also
跡
built
ゲートの
directly
真
above
上
the relic gate,
地
right
下
in the
空洞
center
全
of
体
Hollow
の中
Sea.
心に建てられているから
That's why it
南
overlooks
極
the
の街を見
entire
渡せるんだ
Antarctic metropolis.
遺跡ゲートの真上？嘘でしょ？
Did you just say above the relic
本
gate?
当さ
That's right. This hotel is
ここは
right above
俺
the
たちが
site where we
接
had
触
our
の儀式を
contact
行った
ceremony.
遺跡の真上
Calculate
に
the
ある
straight line distance from the lab to the site,
遺跡
probably
近くの
vertically
実
only a
験室
few
とは
kilometers away at most.
上下せ
あれだけ車で走ったのに。
After such a long drive, it's
ここがい
surprising
つ
to
もい
find
た
out
場
that
所の
destination
すぐ
is so
近くだっ
close
た
to
な
where
ん
we
て。
usually stay.
ま下から飛んでこれるわけじゃない
Well,
し
we
な
can't fly after all.
しかもここは普
Plus,
通
this
の
isn't
建物
just
なん
any
かじゃない
hotel. The place was originally the
最
base
初
of
の
the
南極遺跡
Antarctica
調査
Relic
隊が
Research
到着
Team.
した
When they
時
first arrived, they set
地
the
上から
base
遺
of
跡に
operations
最も
here,
近い
right
こ
at
の
the
場所に
closest point
活動拠点を
from
置
the
いたんだ
surface to the relic site.
南極都市の建設が始まり
The establishment of the
人々は空洞
Antarctic
の中から
metropolis,
地上へと
people
移動し
gradually
始めた
moved
国
from the
境
top
が
layer
完
of the
全に
cavern
封
to
鎖
the
されると
underground.
この活動
Later,
拠点は
when
使
the
われなくな
borders
っ
were
た
completely sealed, this space of operations lost its utility.
そこで最初の探検家たちの勇気をたたえてこの拠点は記念館に生まれ変わったさらにその後南極で最も巨大
But
な
to
建物
honor the courage of the
迎賓館
first
に生
batch
ま
of
れ変わったわけ
explorers,
さ
this base was transformed into a memorial center. Later, it was built into the most luxurious hotel in Antarctica, the current State Banquet Center.
遺跡の上に観光施設を建てるなんて。
Building a hotel on top of a
南極ぐらいだと思う。
relic is something only Antarctica would do.
他の地域の人たちは遺跡を恐れるけど
Perhaps people in other
南極の
places
人
have a
たちに
sense
と
of
って
fear towards the
遺
relics,
跡は
but to
守り神
Antarctica,
の
the
ようなも
relic
の
is
だ
like a guardian.
感覚が違
There's
うん
no
だ
need to fear them.
遺跡があるからこそ南極は栄え
Precisely because of the
迎賓
existence
館
of the
が
relic
建てら
that
れ
Antarctic cities
そして
thrive.
俺たち
That
は
this
ここを
hotel
出
is
るチャン
preserved
スを
and that we
得
have
た
the opportunity to leave here. Or live here, maybe?
どういう意味？
What do you mean?
この建物の最大の秘密は地表に出る
Oh,
通
okay.
路が残されていることだ
It gives us the chance to leave here, that is correct. The biggest secret of this hotel is that it still retains a passage leading to the surface. Ah,
研究チームが表層から
the
地下
very
空
same
洞に
passage
たどり着
established
いた
by the
時にで
research
きた
team
通
when they
路。
arrived from the ice layer to the underground cavern, right?
そう
Exactly, as
すぐ気づく
expected,
なん
you
て
catch on
さすが
quickly.
だな最高幹部でも一部の人間しか
It's a secret
知らない
passage
極
that
秘通
even
路でもう使われて
Very
ないけ
few
ど
high-ranking
取り壊
officials
さ
know
れたわ
about.
けでもない
Though it's no longer in use, it hasn't been completely abandoned.
叙勲式のおかげで俺た
Thanks
ち
to
にも
this
この隠
reception,
し
we
通
have
路を
access
使
to
う
the
チャンスがで
hotel,
きたんだ
allowing us the opportunity to use this secret passage.
辺境巡察隊は決まった数箇所の出入
Surface
り口
border
でしか
guards
活動
only
していない
operate near a few fixed
つまり
ground
遭遇
entrances
する可
and
能性は
exits.
限りなく
Chances
ゼ
of
ロに近い
encountering a patrol are minimal.
それが本当ならあんたの
There
計画
really
が
is a
成
secret
功する
passage,
可
your
能
plan
性は
might
高
actually
い。
work.
でもその前にさっき
But
から
before
SP
that,
に
did
見
you
られ
notice
てる
that
の
security has
気
been
づいて
looking
る
in our direction? Jifty notices a change in the atmosphere and interrupts Mondo's enthusiastic explanation. Mondo, using his peripheral vision, also catches on to the situation.
本当だ
Really?
目を合わせるな自然に振る舞おう
Let's turn around so they don't know we're aware of them
計画
watching
が
us.
バレたんじゃな
Was
い
your
の？
plan leaked?
まさか
Impossible. Two security personnel in suits exchange hush whispers before making their way towards Jifty and Mondo. Looks like they're coming for
こ
us.
こを離れてパーティー会場に移動しよ
Let's get out of here. Come on, let's head for the
狭
ballroom.
い建物の
The
中じゃ
hotel's too enclosed.
ま
If
ず
they
逃
want
げ
to
られな
catch
い。
us, there's almost no chance of escaping.
うまだわからない
It's not
本
certain
当
that it
に
was
バレた
leaked.
の
If
な
they
ら
were really planning to
二人だけ
capture
で
us,
来
they
るはずが
wouldn't
ない
send just two people.
それもそうか。
True. What's your
隠
plan
し
now?
通路に移動しよう
Let's
計
head
画
for
よ
the
り
secret
早いけ
passage.
ど
It might be a little early,
仕
but
方
we
ない
can't afford to wait now.
誰かが俺たちを追ってきたら
If someone
すぐに
is
通路を
really
通っ
trying
て
to
地
capture
表に
us,
出よ
we'll head straight to the surface through the passage.
ミッドのエリートエージェントの完璧な作戦が
Looks like the elite
早くも
MID
問題
agent's
発生だね。
flawless plan was derailed right away at the very beginning.
からかうのは後だ
Now's not the time to mock me. Mondo and Jifty walk towards the crowd, but another security guard appears in their intended direction.
道を塞ぐ気か
Are they blocking
見られない
us?
よう顔を隠せ
Turn your head so they can't
私
see
の
us.
髪色が隠せると思う？
You realize my hair color doesn't change when I turn my head, right?
ならそもそも見られないようにしないとな
We need to get out of their line of sight.
こっちだこっ
This
ちに
way.
もスタッフ用通
There's
路
an
がある
employee passage over
So
here.
what
We
am I
can
called?
use it to lose them.
行き止まりだったりしないよね。
Won't it be a dead end?
心配するなここのレイアウトは
Don't worry, I
暗記してる
memorized the layout of the hotel by heart. Mondo leaves Jifty. Mondo leads Jifty towards a small door of the passage. What? That's a bizarre sentence. Mondo leaves Jifty towards the small door of the passage. What? Towards a small door in the passage? Okay, whatever. More and more security personnel are following them, and beads of sweat are forming on Mondo's forehead.
後ろから少なくとも3人。右の扉からは
There are at
2
least
人。
3 sets of footsteps behind us and 2 more coming from the door on the right. Turn left. 2 of them turn into a left side alley. Just as they enter the alley, Mondo leads Jifty sideways through the nearest door. Security personnel from both directions converge on the corner, but there's no sign of anyone in the left alley. Losing sight of the 2 makes it hard to determine the direction of pursuit. Security personnel have no choice but to stand there, uncertain of their next moves. But soon enough, orders come through their earpieces and they immediately begin to split up again. Mondo and Jifty move through another small alley, staying alert as they walk towards the end of the passage.
誰も来ないな。
No one's behind us. Looks like we lost them.
壁によって
Shh, get against the wall. Security guard suddenly appears at the end of the passage. Jifty pulls Mondo by the sleeve, hiding behind a cabinet to evade the security guard's line of sight. The security guard doesn't notice anything unusual and leaves.
どうやって俺らの位置が分かったん
How
だ
did they know where our position?
監視カメラとか
How'd they know where our position? My god, that was bad. Did the surveillance cameras catch us?
カメラの死角を選んで
The
通
route I
って
chose is
こっ
in
ち
the
だって
blind
潜
spots
入
of
のプロだ
cameras. I'm a stealth expert, you know.
室内なら包囲するのも難しくないでしょう
Even without surveillance cameras, it wouldn't be difficult to corner us indoors.
で潜入のプロさん
Alright, stealth expert,
次はど
where
っ
do
ち
we
に
go
行く
from here?
こっち
Come with me. The passage has many branching paths. Mondo leaves Justy through one door after another, minimizing movements and sound. There seems to be no sounds of pursuit behind them. Looks like we shook them
今
off.
度こそ負けたと思う。
変だと思わない
Don't you think it's
取り
strange?
押さえるわけでもな
Seems
く
like they're not in a hurry to capture us. They're just trailing behind like they're hunting rabbits.
ミッドのエージェントとの差を見せつけちゃ
Well,
ったか
they
ら
are just regular security guards. It's hard to keep up with an MID
そ
agent.
んなわけないで
That's
しょ
odd. Every time they surround us, they leave an
毎回
opening.
都合よ
Doesn't
く
seem
隙間
like
が
they're
できてい
blocking
る
us.
まるで
It's
誘
more
導
like
して
they're
いるよう
guiding
に
us.
正体に気づいたけど
Maybe they've identified me and
逮捕す
don't
る
have a
正当
reason
な
to
理
arrest
由も
me,
ない
so
か
their
ら
commander is
と
directing
りあえ
security
ず行動
personnel to
範囲に
control
狭
our
めてい
movement
るのか
area.
もしれないもしそうなら
If that's the case, it's going to be hard to get out of
確
here.
かに時間との勝負
True.
だな。
Guess we'll just need to be quicker than them.
ついだ
We're here. Once we go
この
through this
扉の
door,
先
we'll
は
be
メイン
back in
会
the
場
main
だ。
hall.
人混みに紛れて
Let's quickly blend into the
すぐ
crowd
隠し
and
通
then
路
head
に移動
towards the passage. As soon as Mondo opens the door, 4 or 5 towering security personnel are already waiting for them on the other side. Just when Mondo is feeling a wave of despair, the security personnel didn't attempt to detain them. Instead, they make a please gesture, pointing towards a room in the
そ
distance.
こに行けってこ
They
と
want us to go there? Jeffy nods, grabs Mondo, and walks forward. Security personnel step back slightly, creating a space filler.
これは来客用応接室
Is that a private room? Is it a private room? I don't know. I'm going to find out next time because I think this is the longest bit of plot outside of a visual novel I've ever seen in a tactical game. 35, 35, and 35. Like over 110 minutes. Roughly. And we're still not done. That is it for now. I have to take a voice break once again. I have to take a good break between each one of these episodes because this is like very intense on my voice. But I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you guys next time.